Welcome to the Haven Hubcast, a place to learn what business leaders, owners, and professionals are doing to navigate and grow in today's market. Hear from industry experts on everything from marketing, leadership, financing, and more. Brought to you by Haven, a co-working space where you can connect, create, and get stuff done.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Haven Hubcast. I am Nancy Sheed and I am very excited today to be speaking with Linda Stevens. Welcome, Linda.
Thanks, Nancy. I'm looking forward to our chat today.
Linda is here and is a IFBB pro athlete. And for those of you who don't know, that is the International Federation of Bodybuilding pro athlete, as well as being a coach and personal trainer, physical trainer. We're going to get into all the nuances of those differences with Linda right this minute. But Linda, when you were 10 years old, is this something that you had on your poster of being a IFBB pro athlete?
Actually, no. When I was 10 years old, I was playing basketball. I skated when I was younger, figure skated, and then I was a avid basketball player, through our local YMCA, and I loved playing basketball. I played basketball in high school and I played in college. I'm okay. It wasn't anything great, but I just loved being an athlete. But I really didn't start competing until I was 42.
Wow. Okay.
I know. I just, I always liked working out. My dad always instilled in my brother and I that we had to exercise. We were never allowed to sit in the house. That was death. If he saw you sitting around or sleeping in, he was like, get outside. So we always had to ride our bikes and do stuff. So I think growing up, that just was ingrained in me. So I've always been active and I just love lifting weights. And then one day someone was like, oh, you should compete. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. And then I went to a show and watched one and I said, I'll never do that. There's no way. And then after I thought about it for a little bit and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to try it. So that's what happened. At 42, I'm 54 now. So at 42, I decided to do it. I did it 4 years as an amateur in the NPC, National Physique Committee. And then I turned pro at 46 years old. So
wow. Okay. So
it can be done.
I was going to say, lessons here. It's never too late to start something new, different, or set goals for yourself. That is amazing. And Linda, while you were doing that, was that just sort of a personal quest for you? It was your way of staying in shape, or had you started and evolved into your practice now of working with women and in terms of personal training and coaching and nutrition? How did that come alongside what you were doing for yourself?
It was a personal goal. And in those years of competing, I went back to school and got my master's degree in nutrition. So I was competing and dieting and training, and I was in school taking chemistry, which is kind of crazy. But so I turned pro and got my master's degree in the same year, which was kind of exciting. But it sort of just took on a life of its own because I was working at Infinity Fitness, which is a local gym in town. And I worked there for about 8 years. And then people just started asking me about helping them lose weight. And it just kind of became like a side hustle. And then it just grew into, which is why I went back to school. And it just turned into a career. And in 2017, I got divorced after 22 years of marriage, but totally amicable. Everything's really good, never stressful. But I decided that I had to turn it into a business, which was great because I needed to sustain myself and I wanted to take care of myself. And it's just grown. And I hired a business coach, and I've been very blessed because I've been able to help a lot of women just transform their own lives. So I love what I do.
Well, I was going to say that's a great segue into from your website and your bio you sent me. Linda's primary focus is working with midlife women over 40 and 50 and beyond to help them achieve confidence, exude sexiness, and feel comfortable in their own skin. Linda's motto is, midlife should be the bridge to your new life. So it sounds like you're totally kind of helping women live, the walk and talk that you live.
Yes. And sometimes people say, well, I want to build some muscle, but I don't want to necessarily look like you. And I'm like, that's fine. You don't have to look like me. I like to take my my strength training to another level. But I like to carry muscle. It's fun for me. I love to push myself hard in the gym, but not everybody's like that. And that's not what it's about. Everybody's journey is their journey, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a matter of taking each person as an individual and helping them transform in a way that they want to transform. So, and usually for the most part, most women at this stage in our lives, over 40, over 50, really just want to lose weight and just feel sexy and good again, and that's a good thing. You should want to feel that way, because as women, it's how we identify,
Yes.
it affects our confidence. If we get dressed and we feel like we don't look good in something, it just doesn't go well. And I know because I've experienced it. So it's how our exterior look is really how we identify with ourselves.
I love that you focused on the confidence and the strength. And it isn't this sort of, you're not coming from this place of shame of losing weight or, and I don't know, the way you're messaging and looking at your website, it's much more about doing it for yourself, right? Like not just trying to
Yes.
be somebody you're not or be young. You know what I mean? Like I love how you're honoring women where they are, the stage they're in, and that this is actually an exciting time versus we're past our prime or that we can't do this or something like that. So what does that look like when people come to you? Do they have an assessment? Do they focus on, is it nutrition? Is it personal training with you? Is it a combo, or is everything customized? How does that work?
Everything's customized. So because most women that come to me are looking for, a lot of people, this is a common expression I hear. I know what I should be eating, but for some reason I just can't seem to do it or get it done, or I don't know, when to eat what. Like people are very confused about eating, and there's been so much conflicting information that we get, like don't eat fat, don't eat carbs, don't eat this, don't eat that. And people just don't know what to do. They're like, people will still say to me, should I not eat carbs? Like no carbs, right? And I'm like, no, that's not true. It's the type of carbohydrates. You need carbohydrates. Your body only wants to burn carbs for energy. Your brain needs it. Your brain needs glucose to function. But I take everybody as an individual, because some people have health issues. Some people are pre-diabetic and they're trying to stay off medication. Some people are trying to stay off statins. They don't want to take high cholesterol medications because, there's a lot of side effects with a lot of this. And then other women are just like, look, my kids are going to college. My last one's out the door. I got to get this 30, 40, whatever pounds off. I just want to feel good. My knees hurt. My this hurts. My that hurts. I want to take the load off my joints so I feel better. It's a very pivotal time, Nancy, in our lives, because it really sets us up for, like, to use a golf analogy, the back nine, right? It's like, how do we want to age? We can't stop aging. It's going to happen. So it's not this bad, scary. It doesn't have to be a bad, scary thing. You can age gracefully. You can be strong. You can be healthy. You can be doing all the things you want to do well into 80s and beyond, depending on, how you take care of yourself. So we don't need to be hunched over little old ladies, shuffling around. You can be a strong woman and still be in the gym and taking care of your body. And that's the vision that I have for people. Like 50s somethings, or it's a good time to take back your health and get yourself moving and just feel good. Feel good. Don't be scared to be 60 something, 70 something, 80 something.
I love that vision. And I also think, and I'd love to hear your take on it. So I'm like, okay, she's a personal trainer. I've got to get in the gym. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be 7 days a week at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be boot camp. Somebody's screaming at me. And I think that what I have also learned in this age and stage is I might have been doing that in my 30s, maybe my 40s. But if I'm not now doing it with somebody who can help me keep from actually injuring something, making it worse, actually doing it right. I mean, I personally found I had been doing squats wrong, right? Like for 20 years, I've been doing squats wrong. And it's more in doing things right. And it doesn't have to be as crazy intense. And I'm not saying you probably don't make people, push people. But I think that's been my relief at this age and stage, is to set up for the back nine doesn't mean more or more frequent, but it's a kind of doing it right, doing it thoughtfully, and doing what's best for you. And you can work out if you do have that sore knee, shoulder, whatever. So I'd love your insight on that, because I think that sometimes is what scares people away from the kind of personal trainer or scenario, right? Like, I'll just walk. That's fine. I don't need a personal trainer because they'll make me do things that'll make me hurt my body.
Right. the right trainer won't, hurt you. The right trainer will watch how you move and watch your mechanics and correct you, like you said, with squatting. And walking is awesome. I always, when I put a program together for someone, it's usually, it's their meal plan, it's their strength training, and then it's cardiovascular. So cardiovascular can be many things for people. A lot of people, picked up Pelotons during the last couple of years because we were home working out. So what treadmills, equipment. So that's really good. Like, you want to get cardiovascular because it's important for blood flow, circulation. It's very important for brain health. Now, I've been reading about how 30 minutes of cardio 5 times a week has been shown to help reduce a person's risk of Alzheimer and dementia. So, and that's very important because we see that a lot. And so pretty much everybody knows somebody in their family that has suffered from it. So cardiovascular is important. The strength training is important because we want to have strong bones. We lose bone density as we age. It's just a fact. So we want to do the things that we can to help counteract that. Like, we want to live a healthy lifestyle. So we should be eating the right foods. Sugar should be like low or nil. Alcohol should be low or nil. And you got to move your body. You got to pick up some dumbbells, some weights, and do some strength training, some weight-bearing exercises to help build bone density. So that's super important at this stage because, when we're 70, 80, we want our legs to be strong. So as we're moving about, we don't trip and fall. Or if we do happen to trip and fall, it's not so detrimental as now you've broken a hip because your bones are so brittle. So they don't need to be doing CrossFit. They don't need to be doing crazy stuff, but, developing a plan so that, hey, today you're going to do, some kind of squatting, some kind of maybe hamstring work, glute work. Keeping strong glutes is very important to keeping your backs upright and keeping your back healthy. You want to just do the right things so that you're keeping your muscle mass, because sarcopenia is loss of muscle mass as we age. So you want to build and retain your muscle and build and retain your bone density. So, and that looks different for a lot of people. Some women come in and really want to build muscle, and that's cool. And we can do lots of stuff with them. Other people just want, the basics, and that's good too. So it depends on the person. But I have one of my clients, she's a Darien resident. You probably know who she is. I won't mention her name because she's always like, don't mention my name. But she's 65. She's a grandma, and she's barbell deadlifting. And I push her, and she does a lot of stuff, and she's strong, and she plays golf. And she's like, my golf game is so good. My friends are like, what the hell are you doing? Because you're like you're killing that ball.
Love it.
So not to ramble, but it's just women. The other thing I hear is everyone's always afraid they're going to get bulky, but women, you won't get bulky by pushing it a bit in the gym with weights. We don't have the hormones. We have testosterone, but we don't have that kind of testosterone to build man muscles. It's just not going to happen. So
right. Well, you've kind of given a great overview of the different areas that you work with women on, and I'd be curious to hear from you again. We'd love it if you just gave us 10 tips of things we could do right this minute to do everything on our own. We know we don't do that. Yeah. But Linda, what are some baby transformational steps you share with women as they're, either when they get started with you or as they're thinking about getting started with you, or again, just to sort of say, like, here are 2 or 3 things that I always want to say are easy. They sound easy, but as you referenced, we don't always do what we know is easy or doable. To just get started, to start having baby steps of transformation to that feeling better, to a little more strength, to changing maybe some what we're eating. And I know that's a lot, but I'm hoping you've got some sort of baby steps.
Oh, definitely. One of the best things, there's a few things. You got to make sure you're getting quality sleep. So if your sleep is off, it's going to affect everything from your digestion to how you think, to how you feel, your mood. So sleep is very important. And the rule of thumb is 7 to 8 hours at night. And if you're not sure how your sleeping is, because at one point I really wasn't either, and I picked up, people won't see it, but the listeners, I picked up an Aura ring, and it tracks my sleep, which is the reason
my sister just got one this week. She was so excited.
But it's so important to make sure, you get into that REM. That REM sleep is where you heal and where growth hormone gets released. And growth hormone is what keeps our muscles strong and helps our cells recover. So sleep is definitely, you got to do whatever. If you're not getting good sleep, figure it out. What's going on? What's the problems? Your husband's snoring, whatever it is, figure it out and take care of it. water intake. You should really aim to get at least 2 liters a day. 3 is better. But about 2 liters a day to 3 liters of water a day. I know it's a lot. You'll be peeing all the time, but it's good for your kidneys. It's good for your, it's good for your blood. It's good for a lot of different things. So you want to make sure that water intake is up and, and just getting some movement. But, if you have to start with walking, then you start with walking. I always tell my clients 15 minutes in one direction, 15 minutes back home. That's 30 minutes.
Perfect.
Walk like you're late for a meeting, like move it. Don't walk the dog because they stop every 2 seconds to pee or smell something. Like go walk, don't talk on the phone. Like use it to meditate a little bit too. Get the sunlight and the fresh air, hear the birds, like appreciate your surroundings. And try to just keep sugar as low as possible. And I'm not talking about fruit because fruit has a lot of benefits, obviously. But I'm talking about like processed foods, sugary foods, cookies, cake, brownies, sweets, ice cream, stuff like that, and alcohol. Alcohol, try to keep that super low just because for us in midlife, alcohol doesn't do anything good for us. So,
and affects all the other things you just talked about.
Yeah, but you got to get sleep, water, some kind of movement, and, keep the sugar and the alcohol low. I know it's hard. Clients look at me and give me the furry eyeball when I say that stuff, but you don't have to eat everything at the barbecue every weekend. You don't need to drink every, cocktail. You can have seltzer with lime and you'll survive. So
I love that.
It's the long-term effects. I try to get my clients to think long-term. Like, don't just think about this party. It's how do you want to feel the next day or next week or next month or 5 years, 10 years. It's just, I feel like we did all our drinking in our 20s and 30s. Let's clean it up now.
Yeah. No, I had a friend and author. He put an image of himself, like it was a futuristic image of himself on his laptop to sort of say, you're living for this person. What are you doing to make them, like proud and happy of the choices you're making now? Because it's going to have that impact. So I love that you have that sort of long-term look. Well, Linda, this is incredibly helpful. I love hearing sort of how, you're helping women and I appreciate the tips. And it's a nice segue into you're here because of Haven. And I'm curious sort of how Haven came on your radar screen and or things that you're doing in Haven that are interesting either for your business or clients, because I obviously can see an overlap in terms of some of the Haven, Haven members.
So living in Darien for, I don't even know now. I moved here in 96. So it's a long time. But I knew of Haven when Felicia started it. And then I've been to some events here and there, but I've been so focused on like building and growing and doing stuff. But now I realize that I've got to network more. And so joining Haven was a plus for me because there's so many amazing women there. And being around other female entrepreneurs is so empowering. Like I'm a big believer in surrounding yourself with people that are going to have equal or greater value, that are going to help lift you up and genuinely want to see you succeed. And you want to genuinely see them succeed, right? Because it's not always like that. And that's such a positive environment. It's just, I was there last night with the health and wellness group, and I'm going to do an event on June 23rd at 10 in the morning. And we're going to go into the gym in the building, and I'm just going to go over like some key movements for women that women should be doing in the gym. So I'm excited to do that. We're going to limit that, I think, to about 10 people just because the space is not super big.
Yeah, it's quite small.
But so hopefully we'll get 10, maybe squeeze a couple more in. But yeah, I'm really pumped about it. I just want to be around that positive energy. And I love, although everyone's just friendly and helpful. And I just think in the world we live in now, it's just really important to support yourself, as Joel Osteen says, big fan of his, that you got to plant yourself in good soil. So
it's great soil.
I feel like
and I think
good soil.
And I think also for us, working as solopreneurs, right? Like you also just to have the community is really helpful for either growing your business or just to get out of your gym or your office. It's been incredibly helpful. Well, Linda, this has been such a treat. Thank you for your time. If people are interested in learning more about you and your business, what's the best way to reach you?
The best way is to just go to my website, and it's super easy. It's Linda M. Stevens with a PH. So Linda M. STEPHENS.com, LindaMStevens.com.
That's awesome. We will make sure that's included in the show notes as well. Thank you, Linda. And that concludes another episode of the Haven Hubcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thanks for listening to the Haven Hubcast, a place to learn what business leaders and owners are doing to navigate and grow in today's market. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Haven is a co-working space and virtual community located in the heart of Fairfield County, Connecticut. Haven is a hub for business owners and professionals to connect, create, and get stuff done. Find out more about the Haven community online at haven.com. That's HAYVN.com. Haven Hubcast is produced by Sound Advice Strategies.